we have the pleasure of speaking with a man who has led his organization for 14 years, transforming it into a leader in agriculture, green IT, and technology innovations. His commitment to sustainability and community empowerment drives this organization's success today. He also serves as the CEO of Deka Group, bringing innovation and sand-based technologies to tackle global challenges in desert farming, water conservation, and crude oil production. Additionally, he's led Deka Solutions for over 2 decades, providing tailored software development and consulting services. His extensive experience and dedication to sustainable technology makes him a pioneer in his field. Today, we'll discuss his leadership journey, the growth of Deka Group, and his vision for the future. Chandra Dake, a very warm welcome to the top floor. Lovely to have you on board.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Simon. It's a pleasure to be on this top floor.
I want to kick off looking at the background and your vision. And please tell us what inspired you to establish the Deka Group?
Well, I do not say that it is a very, very big vision. It is a very simple vision of making a difference to the people around me as such, with the knowledge what we have and what we can achieve. So that's a simple mission we started off our journey with. And as we are going along, the people around us, the circle became bigger and bigger, and it became community. The more people we meet and more people we can make a difference, the initiative started getting bigger. So we started with our technology entity, wherein we were able to influence or provide for 20 people. And then it became, we ventured into agriculture, where we were able to impact around 2,000 odd people. And that's how it has went on to different initiatives. Now, our simple mission is to make a difference.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Nice, simple, a bit like Nike, just do it.
Very true.
Make a difference. Very good. So you've got a pretty diverse sector. You've got agriculture, IT, energy with your oil field technologies. It's leading in that diverse approach, those diverse sectors I want to look at. How do you approach leadership and managing such a diverse portfolio of businesses?
So it is a very simple way. Obviously, for each of those elements, I do have the specialists in that region, and I do have the people team who has been working with me for a very, very long period. Almost some of the team members who have been with us from almost the school area, they have went with the school with me. They work along. So the trust of the people is one element of it, and then the specialists. So, and we give a lot of very good freedom for people to come up and explore the ideas, pitch on some of their concepts and everything, and that's how it has evolved. So diverse portfolio doesn't really look like a diverse at all for us. And as we're going along, we just deal with the people. As we are dealing with the people, and the specialists are the ones who manage different aspects of those portfolios, and they continue to do so, and we as a group continue to grow.
You've touched on a couple of qualities there, and that's a nice segue into my next question, which is, what essential qualities do you believe a leader should possess to effectively drive innovation and sustainability across different industries like you are?
I can take my example itself, and the way I have taken these parties. Innovation-wise, innovation happens not that every idea comes from my brain, but it is about encouraging people who come up with the ideas to explore and be free to express themselves. So that's the first element of it. Whether it is inside people or outside people, they should feel trusted, and then that's when people can share up their innovations and ideas. And by partnering and by working with them, we can enhance their ideas and we can bring them to the life. A lot of people have good ideas, but to bringing them to the life is where leaders play a bigger role. Then sustainability. So while we are doing on whether it is innovations or anything, if you are able to make it in a sustainable manner, it makes a much more difference. So I look forward in the sustainable aspects, whether it is conserving of the natural resources or people aspect. I mean, how much of the social upliftment are we doing? So these are the two areas. I won't say that I'm doing the whole, I mean, everything in the sustainability sphere. So I look primarily in the food elements. Are we making any difference on the food? Are we conserving the resources? And then is there any innovation in it? Those are the only aspects we look at, and whether we're making any difference to the people.
So it sounds to me like you create an environment where a trusted environment where people can come and share their ideas, and you will actually support those ideas, grow them with the capabilities in your organization into something successful. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. That's how a lot of initiatives have triggered. Based on that, someone has come up with small ideas, and then they have evolved over a period of time to make a success out of it.
So I think, kudos to you for creating, as a leader, creating that environment where people feel that they can be open and trusted in their offerings of ideas, and that you'll support them and not just take them and use them for your own
True, true.
advantage.
They
And I
need
think
to,
that's admirable.
yes, they need to have that comfort that they are well respected, and they're getting the right aspect value for what they're contributing, and that's how it goes across.
So I want to talk about then that we've got an idea, we're growing it, and you've obviously empowered the owner of that idea to grow with it, and obviously the community that it's going to impact. Let me ask you this: how the Deka Group emphasizes community empowerment. How do you integrate this focus into your leadership style and business strategy?
I've already alluded to that point. That is, we are empowering people by giving them the trust. Whether it is, I mean, the community empowerment is in a different aspects. The community can be internal community, which is employees and the stakeholders. And the other one is the people who are benefiting from our initiatives. So that's also something we consider. We look into that aspect as well, and then we give that comfort. Community who are benefiting from our programs has to feel comfortable that, okay, these are the people, I mean, their programs are going to benefit us, and we need to be part, we need to have a sense of ownership. That is what it is. The same thing internally when we're leading, it is reflecting in the same aspect. So we allow people to be free, and also that leadership is cascading down. When they are doing things with their people underneath, they also are giving that sense of comfort to them. So it's a culture difference itself. I mean, this is what I've observed. When you are more free and you are giving that comfort to people, they also have that sense of responsibility, and they continue to offer their people underneath the same level of it. So the culture within the organization changes, and it's a family culture, we call. So a lot of people who are either working with us or within the organization, they call us Dake family and not as a company.
I mean, and that's a credit to you. Tell me more about this community structure that you work with. Is there a sort of set template that you expect the community to adopt to take in your sort of technology and solutions, or do you just let the community leaders pick up the baton and run with it within their own community?
See, the community angle which we do is totally it's slightly different. It's not an empowering as such, training them or something like that. It is more where in one of the initiative we have done in South Africa is around adopting a community for uplifting the agriculture within that area. In this particular community, I can give you an example. In this area, there was not even the land was beautiful right next to the river, but there's no activity at all. And people have to go out almost 15, 20 kilometers to earn their daily wage. So not even a bus comes, bread comes inside the area. So they had to walk, or they have to go on some other bicycle kind of a thing. In that area, we went in and we adopted that community, and we have done farming in that area, creating jobs. not only jobs, it created the hope. And then we have used external people, only 4 people in terms of managing the whole thing. We have internalized the structure within the community. We were able to take people from the community, identified the leaders, groom them, and execute the whole program. And that has impacted the lives of 3,000 people. Direct impact is only about 150, but indirectly it has impacted because it is able to generate some food and also some ray of hope, some in revenue within that area. So the whole outlook of hope has improved. So that is what I mean by empowerment. So when we can empower directly, but indirectly we can empower the larger community. So that's how we have done. And in every initiative, we look at that community angle. What can we do in order to impact the larger community?
That's a great case study, and and thank you for sharing that specific initiative. Your backdrop looks like another particular project you worked on. Can you tell us more about that?
This is part of our innovation. So we have two major innovations. One is around turning deserts and barren lands into farmable lands. The picture you are seeing behind me is one such technology called breathable sand. This allows us to reduce the water consumption and bring a liveliness to the land which is never produced before. The picture you're seeing is a barren mountain, which is totally unproductive. And that we converted into a rice farm, about 2,500 acres of rice. What you're seeing is a almost ready to harvest rice there. And this area is fully dense population, and they don't have a farmable land at all. So this mountain was converted as a farmable land to benefit that community around it. And it is a very, very satisfying initiative of ours.
Wow. And again, I imagine, how big's the community around the mountain about?
That's probably in few 100,000 people. It's not, this is in China, so it's very densely populated.
Right.
And it's a very good population.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, looking to sustainable agriculture and technical integration of it, agriculture is a crucial area for the Deka Group. We can see that. How do you see the future agriculture evolving, especially with the integration of sustainable practices as you've already described?
Now it is no longer what you call it. It's no longer a privilege. It is a need. Agriculture is a need. We are supposed to do it because every country with the current economics, whether it is during the pandemic, when every country is blocking themselves, they had a lot of food shortages and everything. So agriculture has to evolve from previous traditional agriculture to now. It needs to evolve, and every country needs to produce their food. So the sustainability comes in when there is a need. So that's where water conservation comes in. That's where the innovations in terms of rooftop gardens, producing your own food in the garden, or the microgreens which are being produced within the aid to water, or all the innovations, vertical farming, air farming, all of those are part of those innovations because there is a need for food production in sustainable food production within regions which were difficult to produce. So it is going to evolve in the next 10 years. More and more innovations are going to come. More yield is going to be generated in a sustainable manner, not using pesticides and insecticides. There's lots of awareness around organic farming now because the consumers are growing their demand for organic produce, vegan produce, and all of it. So there's a lot more vegetables being consumed. So there is going to be more demand in a sustainable practices, and also producing it sustainably, saving water, saving resources, and not wasting a lot of produce. We don't have the luxury of wasting the produce anymore. So it is a turnaround in the culture among the people, consumers, and that is what drives all of that.
That's a great insight. As our eating habits are changing and people are becoming sort of more focused around, a vegetarian diet and a vegan diet, those sort of demands that are actually now put back onto agriculture. I find it fascinating. Can you discuss any innovative technologies or practices that have been particularly transformative for the Deka Group?
Yes, I've already alluded to a little bit of that by showing the picture behind me. Breathable sand is one such innovation of ours. It is manufactured using desert sand as a raw material. So that's one innovation, is using a desert sand which is never used for something meaningful. And then from there, that breathable sand allows us to transform desert into a food bowl. We can produce different crops. We can produce forests in it, so it increases the green cover. So that's one of our innovation. It's just not just about growing the trees, but in a sustainable manner, we can grow more trees, more food we can grow in a harsh climates. That's one innovation. The second innovation of ours is around water conservation, harvesting of the water. The floods we have seen 2 weeks ago, we have the technology to avoid the floods. We can actually harvest all of that water and reuse that water. So that's another innovation of ours. So these two innovations we feel are going to have a strategic impact on our group in the next decade. So next decade to do 2 decades, these technologies are going to impact the way the food is produced around the world, and also in the deserts as such, and also the water conservation. So we can build spawn cities around the world to conserve the water and increase the groundwater reserves. So that is something which we feel very proud that we have solutions which we have designed and they contribute to the world.
And what countries have adopted this technology and solutions to date?
So at the moment, implementations wise, China has adopted aggressively. We now have our technologies implemented across 30 spawn cities, and now another 700 smaller cities are underway. And then in the Middle East, now where we are located, we are aggressively pursuing this from a plantations perspective as well as implementation perspective. We are partnering with the government. We are working close hand in hand. Obviously, UAE has a mission to not only from a net zero perspective, but as such, they have declared food security and water security as a national security. As a national security, there has a very high priority, and COP28, when they held, as an oil country, them making an too much openly declaring a net zero mission is a great story on its own. So that is what we are embarking on now. UAE is adopting, and we have a lot of discussions ongoing with Saudi as well as Qatar as well. So more everyone, as Dubai is embarking and doing the initiatives, the other countries, neighboring countries, are coming forward to work on this and adopt it. Yes.
So I want to now talk about Chandra Dake. I want to look at your personal insights and your personal leadership journey. How has your leadership style evolved over the years that you've been involved in the Deka Group, and what essential experiences have shaped you as a leader?
I won't say I have changed a lot. It is the same behavior we've got. I work with the people. It's the same open door policy. Right from, I mean, right from the initial, every tier of employees work in the same manner. They can approach and they can discuss openly. That's the same style we continued, but the way we have evolved in talking, we're now able to talk value rather than the solutions. That is something which I was able to change within the leadership style, and we are able to show value more evidently, more people. So as people, and also the trust as well, the more initiatives we are able to do, we build the trust within the internally and externally, the clients as well as internal resources. They get to see the results, they get to see the vision, and they continue to drive. So I would say, I mean, not very high change within the attitude wise, but in the approach wise, what is the value? Articulating the value is something which I have changed. We are doing that now more. Earlier, it was assumed that it is people will know it, but now we are articulating it. Now I'm able to express it more, value what we are bringing.
I want to dig deep on that one. Have you had an experience where you've had a challenge and perhaps what you've been talking about hasn't been accepted? How did you overcome that?
Simple answer is perseverance. There's no shortcut to it. It is You believe in something, you just need to continue to do it. And that's what I've been doing. There's only one, if I have to describe what is the formula for my success, it's perseverance. I just hang on to it. And if I believe something, I continue to pursue it, pursue it, pursue it until it is successful. There's no other way. Yeah, if I believe in something, I continue to persist, and eventually it will lead because you have believed in it. I have believed in it. Yes.
Sounds also you're quite resilient.
Yes. So if and yes, obviously, when I believe in something, I believe in something for a reason. And I mean, if that meaning is not coming across, we wait, we continue to pursue. And as people, I mean, simple example is in a desert country like ours, rain is very little. You do not see the rain. When we were talking about City 3 years ago, people really didn't feel the need for it. But now, as we saw the flooding, people see the need for adopting this infrastructure and see it. So now, but we have continued to persist and continue to educate people, create awareness. Continuing to do that is what is evolving us. So persistence is right, but persistent in the right manner. So that is where we are. So we're not just persistent and resilient on something which is because I'm adamant. It is not that. It is more about we believe in solution. We feel that there is a bigger impact, and whether for the people to see that impact, it might take time, and that is the time which I'm willing to give. So we can call it a patience, but it is more of a persistence. So
Okay.
perseverance.
So what advice would you give aspiring leaders who want to impact their industries positively?
I would want them to think two things. What are we saving? What resources are we conserving? Second is how many people are we impacting? If we are able to do those two, and the rest is perseverance. Okay, you believe in something, you continue to perceive and continue to do that. If these two you have, the bigger the answer, the better. The more resources you're conserving, more people you're impacting, whether it is directly or indirectly, those two are there, then the rest is okay. You continue to do that. The bigger the impact, the better it is. And perseverance is the main thing, because there's no shortcut to success. You got to continue to knock on the doors. You got to continue to tell your viewpoint, continue to do. If you believe something, you continue to do, and you adopt. You take a slight detour, but you don't change away from your initial goalpost. Continue to do that. Perseverance is important, but what impact are you bringing? So impact is important measure than anything else.
Okay, sound advice, and I think certainly for young people, part of the Gen Z challenge is that they do want to experience the most out of life, and therefore they're willing to change and they're willing to sort of switch jobs, providing then hopefully the next step in their career is going to be a more positive one and rewarding one. So those sort of key words are, I think, very valuable to those people, and indeed anybody else who's looking as a young aspiring leader to have a positive impact on their industry. So let's sort of start to wrap up and have some closing thoughts. What are your long-term goals for the Deka Group, and how do you plan to achieve them?
We want to make a difference to the people, to the resources, and that's a simple. We have come up with the solutions, and we intend to make a difference at one step at a time. The mission we have embarking on is a very big mission, greening the deserts. It's a very, very ambitious mission. We would like to continue to do that, whether it is planting the forests, creating the food at a scale. We are now talking about 500 million trees in the next couple of years, which is a massive mission on its own. Creating spawn cities, creating water resilient cities, which is a solutions, what we are embarking on. We feel that we can make a difference to the world, and we're continuing to do. We are using desert as a medium to express ourselves, and we would like to impact as many countries and as many people as possible in our journey.
Okay, so I think that most probably answers my next question, which is, how do you see the role of the Deka Group evolving in the next 5 to 10 years, particularly in terms of sustainability and community empowerment? But if our listeners want to connect with you and learn more about your work at Deka Group, how can they do that?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very open on the LinkedIn, and I do express my views on LinkedIn quite a bit often. So they can connect to me on LinkedIn and reach out to me. I'm very easy to get access to. So welcome.
Chandra, it's been an absolute pleasure learning about yourself, your leadership approach to what you're doing, and about the Deka Group. And it's very exciting, and its timing couldn't be more perfect, I think, globally, with the challenges that we're experiencing in global warming, and the extreme weather conditions that are being experienced around the world. Long may it last, Deka Group and its contribution to communities all over the globe. Good luck, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you, for having us here, and I appreciate your listening audience as well. Make a difference.
Thank you very much.